Live coverage, of course, from Asphalt Racing Network here tonight for the American Stock Car Racing League, presented by Decals, Paint, and Photoshop, and Young Headed Collectibles on whatnot for all your new and old collection needs. Be sure to check us out. Of course, today is a new day for the guys in American Stock Car Racing League as they officially touch what is now called the O'Reilly Series for the first time. Drivers are going to have to do a lot here tonight if they haven't done a lot of practice throughout the week to get good times, to get good qualifying times, to get good lines, and of course to have an immaculate race here tonight. Who will be able to prevail is the biggest question. Biggest story going into the night right now. There is a $20 bounty on Holloway's head. Whoever can beat that man will get $20 tonight at the end of the race. Of course, if Holloway wins again, bounty's still up for grabs. Right now, American Stock Car Racing League action just a few moments away. About 3 minutes away as they are in qualifying right now, looking to see who is on the track. Daniel Holloway, the man himself, the one who has obliterated the last few weeks, will be here tonight as always. Looking else, Matt Banky, the 35 on the field here tonight. Russ Hancock also here in the number 343. 24, Tyler Green on track right now. Dylan Picklesimmer makes another return for another week. Josh Riddle here again. Todd Poston in the 31. Chase Greer here tonight. Eric Rodeman. Ethan Horst. Adam Schroem. No. Kevin Leach in the 77 here as well tonight. 69 of Robert McRae makes another week. 71 of Trevor Yates. $17 of Dalton Gibson on field right now with Alan Hess in third. I'm sorry, number 3. The 0-1 of Matthew Wilson on track right now. 45 of Mark Martin. Stephen Alessi. Adam Kilday just starting his qualifying times. Sorry about the slow songs. I have no idea why. We've got some slow music on. Zach Stevens on track right now. The 14 of Vicente Guerrero, who actually had a really good race last week. Just kind of fell shy at possibly getting himself a win. Now here for redemption tonight as his entire team was a rookie team, and they showed out a pretty good amount of skill. And we have been kicked from the sim. Isn't that always fun? Speaking of which, while we try to get things set up here, we have got a few special guests for you guys tonight. One you know on this network pretty well by now. He is a main time commentator for the Right Time Sim Racing League now, and also a pain in our side. The other guy, not the second guy, the other guy. Of course, we're talking about Mickey Stewart, the People's Champ, and the thorn in our side, Blake Sharrow.
I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having us in on a Monday, man. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Daytona's always fun.
And of course, it's the O'Reilly cars. These guys have not yet touched these cars. So this is going to be tricky. This is going to be challenging. And it's going to be a fun race.
For some of them that are new on the stream, you say first time in the O'Reilly car. Is this league progress cars as the season goes on?
So the way American Stock Car Racing League works is a very short schedule. They don't run too many races. I believe it is 16 in total. That is also including a playoff races as well. So it's 10 races of regular season, Daytona being the first race, and then we go to Talladega the next week. With that being said, there we go. We're back up live on feed. With that being said, these guys only get to touch these gens a very specific amount of times. Of course, the first week was the next gen cars, the Gen 7s. Then after that, they went to trucks for 2 races. Then to the Gen 4s. Now we are on Xfinity for this week and next week. And then we wrap up the regular season on the Gen 6 cars at Talladega on Monday, May 4th. And then, of course, the playoffs will begin on the 11th at Daytona in the trucks. And now the generation of cars, everything technically switches each week. So we will go to Daytona, Talladega. Of course, same way it's been running. The trucks will be the first race for the playoffs. Then, of course, the round of 12 second race will be Xfinity. The drivers at the end of that round of 12 will move to the round of 8 race at Daytona in the Gen 4 cars. The second round of 8 race will be in the Gen 6 cars at Dega. And then our first Final 4 race will be in the next gens at Daytona. And of course, the Final 4 championship race itself will be a points champ choice track. And it is also a team champ choice on what car they drive.
It's awesome. I kind of like that. It adds a whole new strategy to the ball game. You know, some drivers are better in one car than the other, so it kind of, you know, splits it up and lets other people kind of, if they're better in the next gen or the Gen 4, it kind of gives them a bit of an advantage. So I kind of like that setup, and I'm interested in see how it plays out for the remainder of the season.
Now, of course, qualifying was finished. We now go to a grid as we are slowly what looks to be getting under the lights here at Daytona. Vicente Guerrero takes the pole here. The number 14 is in the first position on the inside line. Josh Ball going to take second place. Dylan Picklesimmer will be in third. Tyler Hurt in fourth, with Corey Rainey rounding out your top 5. Just outside of the top 5 is going to be the number 6 of Sam Taylor, with Robert McRae in 7th. Daniel Holloway in 8th. Ethan Horst in 9th. And someone we know up in this booth very well, the number 45 of Mark Morton, rounding out your top 10.
And 11th, we got Grayson Pate. In 12th, Alan Hess. 13th, Matthew Wilson. 14th, Chase Greer. 15th, Eric Rodman. 16th, Todd Poston. 17th, Adam Strom. 18th, Joshua Riddle. 19th, Dalton Gibson. 20th, Jeremy James.
Just outside of our top 20 drivers here tonight is going to be the 20 in the 21st position, number 343 of Russ Hancock. 22nd will be Matt Banky, another familiar name to us here tonight. Tyler Green is going to take 23rd. Zach Stevens in 24th, with Yates in 25th. Kevin Leash sitting in 26th position. Brandon Matthews in 27th. Stephen Alessi in 28th. Gary Breland in 29th. Adam Kilday in 30th. And last but not least, Len McNeese in 31st position. One hell of a grid here tonight. 31 cars for the O'Reilly Series at Daytona is going to be a blast.
Yeah, 31 cars at Daytona. That's you know, in iRacing, that's a full field for sure. Definitely going to be exciting. We got 100 laps here, so I'd like to see the drivers get a good green flag run to start this race. Everyone find their groove, find their lane, find their partners, race clean, leave some space, and hopefully we'll notice as the race goes on, especially once we get past halfway, how things start to heat up.
Now, right now, you're looking at the Sky Cam. A lot of drivers still in turn 1 and 2 here as they're pacing. Of course, the beautiful Daytona cams we have that we debuted at the ARN Daytona week. We are still looking to add a few more cams, but right now, the Daytona cam package is still by far the best one we have. The closest cams you can get here tonight. Up close and personal with these drivers, no matter where they are on the track. Of course, we will have the flag stand cam as well. Our beautiful Sky Cam that you saw. We will be able to see the fights off pit road. Of course, exit and entrance cams as well. Wall cams for our Crank It Up sessions. And of course, the spotter cam at the Eagle's Nest at the top of the grandstands.
Man, that's awesome. Shout out graphics department once again.
works tirelessly around the clock. Pace truck off this time. Vicente Guerrero gonna take us back green. Well, green the first time here tonight, as we are now racing lap 1 of 100 of our stage break at lap 50 for the drivers. That's the only stint they will get. 2 stints here tonight, 50 laps apiece. The goal is to be in the lead at any point in time, because it will be a very, very big lottery ticket race. And of course, if you are not first at Daytona or Talladega, you are last.
Quote unquote, Ricky Bobby, baby. You can see the top line starting off strong already. You know, a lot of races you see that top line kind of come in a little bit later. But it looks like 14 of Guerrero's going to try and get that top line running early.
And that's a wise move. We've seen it week after week. The top line normally prevails here. And it's a weird situation, because normally at Daytona and Talladega, the bottom line prevails in the draft. But we have seen a lot of top line maneuvers to actually be able to take the race, have the winning line, to put yourself in that winning position, and overall make the passes. Now, of course, that top side, not on top of the clean draft, you also get a lot of side draft from the cars on the bottom side. So I feel like that top line side draft is really kind of what pushes the car forward a lot, but it is still a lot of skill behind the wheel of that car.
You can see some pushing here early. The 33 locked into the 14. The 14 drops to the bottom. Allows the 33 to pull up side by side. Corey Rainey right on his bumper in 3rd position. Going for 2nd position. Now leading the top line.
And Blake, you are pretty familiar here yourself with these tracks, few of these drivers here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel the racing is going to go? Of course, restrictor plate, the O'Reilly cars. A lot of people say they are ARCA car seniors. They're a little bit loose, can't take a good bump in the corners. So, how do you feel like this race might end up going for these drivers for these 100 laps?
Man, there's honestly no telling. That's why I'm excited to kind of sit back and watch. You know, I haven't watched too many O'Reilly races at this track. I've seen some ARCA, and they get squirrely sometimes, and same with trucks. But O'Reilly's a whole different ball game, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing some hopefully clean races and some green flags.
I will see green flags, but we'll also see a lot of yellow flags too. As you know, the longer the race goes on, some guys want to be a little bit more aggressive, get that position. We're seeing Rainey already attack pretty hard here. He's moved up 4 positions to now take the lead from the top side. Now you've got to wonder, is he going to get comfortable on that bottom side as the 33 of ball is going to go high? Or, as I was about to say, will he start blocking these lines to keep that lead position?
Corey Rainey, one of the best on these restrictor plate tracks, in my opinion. We've seen it on Asphalt Racing Network all season between Right Time and Norris and ASCRL. He can definitely hang with the best with them and be up front. He gets a little loose there. A great save for the 4. The question is, like you said, can he stay up there and stay clean? And he's had a little bit of tough luck sometimes at this track after pit stop or something like that, kind of getting caught in traffic and then just getting caught up in some of the wrecks and stuff that happened in front of him. So I do hope the 4 can put a good race together and keep her up front for most of the night.
Now, of course, looking for a lot of different storylines here between all of these drivers on track within the next few weeks, as we are well over the halfway point of the regular season now. Caution already out, so we are going to hold off on telling you who is officially locked in at this point in time. Looks like Stephen Alessi might have been in that wreck and is. He is around this time. So we are going to take it back to the replay and see exactly what happened with that 8 car. Ooh, that seems to be a little bit of an error on the 8. Doesn't look like he intentionally went up there. Let's see if we can get a better camera here on the high side. He just shot up the track and collided with the 45 of Morton.
Yeah, it just seems like he just come up a little bit. I don't, Morton might have been in that blind spot. He's about right there in the right position for a blind spot. Unfortunate for the 45 to get caught up there. Hopefully he can get that front end repaired and get back out on the track. 8 doesn't look like he has a whole lot of damage as well. So I don't think anybody's out of this race quite yet, but pit crews do got some work to do.
Yes, sir. Very unfortunate for Mark Morton at 45. We know him pretty well, and he always does really good when it comes to restrictor plate tracks. And hopefully that damage isn't too bad for him in the pits, and hopefully we can get him back out there and he can get up there and fight for the lead.
I think Morton will end up retiring this vehicle due to the fact there is a meatball flag on my screen for that 45. Looking at him trying to get it back to pits. Of course, he just had to tow it, so that's automatic 3 minutes of wait time. Trying to actually look at it here from a different camera that is well enough and close. You can see that right front tire is just sent inwards. Left front tire not even connected. Axle is broken on that left side. Right front tire, we can get it, is about the same. So it looks like he has a broken front axle. Only the rear tire is actually still spinning and connected. So that might be a race ender for Morton here. I believe they do have a fast repair, but with him towing it to pits, that's going to put him a lap to 2 laps down now, as Pickle Simmer had the lead coming into pits. But of course, Vincente has the box number 1, so it's going to be pretty close here. Pickle Simmer comes out in second, Brandon Matthews in first, Hurt in third, Guerrero out in fourth, and Josh Ball rounding out your top 5. Corey Rainey outside in 6th, Holloway in 7th, Poston in 8th, Peyton 9th, and McRae rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, hopefully after the tow, the 45 can get her fixed, get her back out there. One thing about Daytona, there will be at least another 2, 3, maybe even more cautions. So very possible for him to get those laps back and become and finish as a contender towards the end of this race.
Now, of course, looking at the playoff picture right now, something I was about to start indulging in before that caution came out here. At this point in time, we have only 3 drivers actively locked within the playoffs. And it's pretty, I would say it's pretty late in the season to only have 3 drivers locked in. Of course, one of those drivers being the 21 of Daniel Holloway. I mean, it's kind of expected. He has been on a streak here. Right time, right place, and of course, just skill getting him to that position. Another one that is locked in to the playoffs as well, the 35 of Matt Benke. Even though he did have that win that got pulled back due to that last lap caution, he has still put himself in a strong position to officially be locked in. And the last one locked in at this point in time after race 6 would be the 15 of Ethan Horst, who has a strong performance so far, but still has a lot to add. Now, of course, a few other guys that are still strong right now that have the opportunity to lock themselves in. As the 17 of Dalton Gibson, whose team is on a roll right now. They are the drivers to watch. They are practically the dominant team at this point in time. And it's still the question of who and when will they be taken off that pedestal. Of course, the 23 of Gary Breland is still in a strong position right now. Christian Rhodes as well is another one. I do not believe he is here tonight, but he is another one that is a strong competitor at this point in time. And then, of course, Joshua Riddle right now currently trying to, just maneuver the first 50 laps and get everything straight and settled, but he is still strong. Of course, the bubble right now, Tyler Hurt, Poston, Greer, Rodman, and Jeremy James, all within that mark that one bad race can kind of end their playoff run.
Not everyone gets to make it. So if you're not one of them locked-in drivers, this is a good opportunity for you to get in one of them locked-in positions or put yourself in better positions coming in the late stretches of the regular season.
And of course, 4 drivers already out. Hancock's already out of playoffs. He is a fast driver. All 4 of these drivers are fast, but just unfortunately have had multiple cautions that have impacted their finishing position. Hancock, Picklesimmer, Stevens, and Yates, all out of playoff picture at this point in time, but are still fast and heavily competing for wins still. Pace truck off this time. And the restart zone is going to be the 726 of Brandon Matthews as green flag is waving in the air now to take lap 11, that time by the line.
Looks like Morton's back on the track right now, so hopefully he can kind of get back where he left off and get those laps back and get back into the race.
Morton most likely taking that fast repair as well. He was in pits for about 4 minutes, 14 seconds, only had a pit time of 4:05. That would include his 3 minutes of towing, and then, of course, about that minute of repair. So he might have had that fast repair with the tire change and, a little bit of extra time that put him down. But unfortunate situation again, as the second caution already out. The 45 able to avoid that one, but a lot of drivers not. Picklesimmer, Breland, Strom, Banky, Hancock, Rainey, and the list is still rolling.
Yeah, going back to Mark Morton, Daytona was 2.5 miles, so caution laps take a little longer. So even with the tow and everything, we got him at 2 laps down and the only car a lap down at all. So I believe he avoided all contact there and should get a lucky dog here, and should be able to get up to 1 lap down. And I expect him to get back on the lead lap here soon.
Yes, for sure. Hopefully, when you're going multiple laps down, it gets kind of scary because, you have one wreck and there'll be multiple people a lap down. Then you kind of get pushed back in the pack when it comes to Lucky Dog. But hopefully this, unfortunate for him, it didn't like nothing too crazy happened. And looks like them cars should stay on the lead lap, which will give him that Lucky Dog and be just 1 back.
So now looking at the replay, which pulled out this caution, it was the 88 of Picklesimmer and the 14 of Guerrero, 1 and 2 on the top side. Seems the 14 just kind of got off squared on that bumper. You see that right rear touch there, which sent the 88 into the wall, stacking up the 14, the 8, the 69, and almost the entire field there, as all of the drivers kind of just compiled together, as that is what happens here when you are at a super speedway track. It's nothing that can be avoided. I mean, just look at this replay right now. There's about 3 cars sideways. Corey Rainey pinned up onto the top side. The 69 driving right into the 31's door. I mean, it couldn't have got any worse than that. That's already, I would say, a moderate one. I wouldn't say it's the big one. We have seen worse here for ASCRL with a big one. That was still bad enough. Trying to look at telemetry right now. Seems like Dalton Gibson in the 17 has a meatball. And then the 88 as well of Pickle Simmer has a meatball flag. Back end tore up. You can see on your screen now. So tough situation for those drivers. But it doesn't look like it will be too bad of a situation for most of them. Of course, they have that fast repair. As long as they were able to make it back to the garage, they won't have to wait that 3 minutes. So, I mean, Gibson in right now, so he's able to pull it back to pits. And everybody that did pit is now out. So Tyler Hurt is now your new leader at lap 12 for the second caution here tonight.
Yeah, when you're getting involved in a wreck like that, you really hope and pray that you can drive it back to pits, because that 3-minute tow, that can be a killer. We kind of seen it with Mark Morton there already. You know, put him 2 laps down with that 3-minute tow. So you'll see some of these drivers, like even Mark with his axle broke, you got to try to get it to pit road yourself. You know, use that tow as a last resort. But it's unfortunate when you got to use it, but it's I'm glad it's there, because it does give you the opportunity to at least get back to pit road and get your damage fixed and get back out on track.
Yeah, I agree. Especially you had pointed out earlier, you know, on Daytona, it's just one of those tracks where, you know, you don't obviously never want to have your car towed, but at Daytona and Dega, those are tracks it's not too bad. You know, if you're on a Bristol, you'll be multiple laps down, you know, but with it being a super speedway, you know, you can kind of, it doesn't hurt too bad.
No, and that's the good thing about having a track like Daytona or Talladega, or especially Pocono, 2.5-mile track. If you go a lap down or 2 laps down at a track like that, you know, you've either had really serious damage or you're just not meant to be there that night. So thankfully, with Morton only having 2 laps down, being the first one a lap down, and staying out of that wreck, he will be able to get back at least a lap. Right now, I'm trying to look. I know Pickle Simmer is a lap down. I believe Pickle Simmer is the first person a lap down right now. So I don't, unless Morton has got his back and nothing has switched yet. Seems like Pickle Simmer would be down.
It seems that way, but that's credit, you know, credit to what Blake said earlier. You know, if you're that first wreck and that first lap down like Martin was, you can get that lucky dog, but then that second wreck happens, and then, like Blake said, you can get 2, 3, or 4 cars a lap down, and then you're battling for that lucky dog. So right now the scoreboard's showing Pickle Simmer as the lucky dog position, with Mark Morton going to be right behind him. So I do expect them to battle for that lucky dog position, because it's a super speedway. Cautions are inevitable, which makes the lucky dog inevitable as well.
And that's definitely something to be looking at here after we go back green to see where that fight is. Of course, we're going to keep eyes on the front. We're also going to keep eyes on the 88 and the 45, because that is the big position right now. Which one of those two will be able to get their first lap back, get back on lead lap, and keep driving? Now, of course, both of those drivers most likely had to already use a fast repair, so that is out of the question. They do not want to be in a wreck. Tyler Hurt in the restart zone, going back green now. Kevin Leash just on the outside in second place. The last 2 cars just passed there. So now it is all on Mark Morton and Pickle Simmer in the back. Right now, Morton has the advantage over the 88. If a caution was to come out right now, the 45 would be the first one getting that lap back.
Yeah, as we keep an eye on all the battles from front to back, you can see the 2 lines kind of separating, you know, just a high line and a low line. Try not to take it 3 wide just yet. So I haven't really seen too much 3 wide, so credit to the boys, just trying to run that double file. Just try to keep those bumpers lined up. You've seen it last caution, when your bumpers aren't lined up, how it becomes a very dangerous situation for you and everyone behind you.
I mean, that's also what a lot of people say here, too. That's kind of what I was saying in the pre-race. This is literally ARCA cars on steroids. These cars do not like a bump, especially an off-centered one. You can, if you and the person that are drafting know how to initiate that perfectly centered bump, and you're not making any wiggle room, for error, then you can really bump draft each other up a few positions. But as soon as you just get a little bit off center to the right or the left side, it's over. You are spun. You're praying that your flaps keep you grounded, and you're not going to be on your roof.
Yeah. So like, you watch these cars as you'll see space in between them in the corner. Ideally, you'll have space between the cars in the corners, and most of your pushing comes on the straightaways. So you can kind of see right now, everyone's got just a little bit of space between them cars, and then the cars second, third, fourth in line will pull up to the back bumper. As you can see there on the outside line, where the 21 just hooks up on the 33 in the straightaway.
Yeah, of course. There goes the caution. Not sure who got involved in that one. But to your point, yeah, the 33, he really got that high line to work out for him really well.
Third caution out now. 47 is Zach Stevens. The 7 of Grayson Pate. The 69 of Robert McRae, all involved in that caution. And it seems like the 47 has a right front toe broke, as that tire is completely off of the axle.
Over under on broken axles tonight, Tyler.
7. Over 7.
We're on pace.
I actually think the 47 has just blown an engine too.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. Let's go back here, see if we can get you a good cam. We got enough of them, so we should be able to get you something decent here. Spotter cam's a little bit too far, guys. What are we thinking? Say that chase cam. There we go. Hit the drone cam. So we're now following the 47 for this crash. 47 running in the midline. The 40 actually makes contact with the left rear of the 7. That is the 40 of Chase Greer. That sent the 7, the 69, and the 47 all together, and it kind of stacked up just a little bit more than what was expected. Of course, at that point in time of the caution, when the yellows started blinking, Dylan Picklesimmer was in front of Mark Morton. Actually, no, I think Morton might have been in front. Let's go back and see, because we have lights on the track here, so we should be able to see. Let's follow in the chase cam, see if we can see a light on the track. I see one just off in the front. Morton was behind Picklesimmer. Yeah, so Picklesimmer in the lead as that yellow dropped. So he will be the one getting his lap back now. Morton has one more caution to go before he gets his lap back. A few drivers staying out. They said they're good on gas. They're ready to go. And now a fight on pit road begins for the rest of the field.
And with the stage at halfway, I'm not sure. I don't think tires really become a factor here. It's a fuel game. Some drivers will take fuel every caution. Some drivers will just take one after they know they can make it to the end of the stage. And then, as we always say at these super speedways, in traffic you use a little less fuel. Up front you're going to use a little more fuel. So tires not as much of a factor today. But I am curious, Blake, what would be your strategy with a 100-lap Daytona, 50-lap stage? What would be your fuel or tire strategy in this first stage?
Man, my strategy would be to hang back a little bit, catch the draft, and then probably the final 10 or so laps before the stage break. That's when I'm pushing real hard. But it also depends, when you have all these cautions coming out back to back, you kind of start to change your strategy on things, because you want it to go green for a while so you can go with your strategy. But when you have all these cautions come out, it really kind of screws it up a little bit. So I feel like we'll really get to see a lot of change strategies throughout the race for the stage. So I'm looking forward to seeing it get up close and see what happens.
Now, truthfully, I really don't feel like these drivers should be rolling through tires like that. We're going to go to the flag stamp cam for Choose Cone this time by. I don't feel like the drivers really should be rolling through tires, only for the simple fact that, after all, it is a restrictor plate. With the situation of Daytona and Talladega, especially for, all of us that have ran the special event 500 this season, you don't really burn your tires too bad. You can kind of run about 30 to 40 laps on a set of tires. Of course, I don't know how the O'Reilly cars are now that we've had a lot of draft package updates and stuff. But overall, I mean, these tires should be lasting these drivers. So, I mean, it's only lap 19 right now. I'm pretty confident in saying that any pit we're going to have here is probably going to be for a fuel run, as I do believe these guys have about a 15 to 20 lap window. They keep a very short window on fuel here to make it a little bit more of a strategy race. So I really don't think we might be seeing any tires until that stint one break.
Yeah, you throw limited fuel into the mix, it definitely changes strategy big time. So yeah, you definitely got to be getting you definitely need to be topping off at some point, maybe even twice or even 3 times per stage, it sounds like.
And it normally makes for good racing here when they do that. Of course, it throws a different little style on it. You're not just sitting in the front, I'm burning a few laps of gas, I need to go in the back and get some draft. Like, everybody's going to pit within about 2 to 3 laps of a leader. Of course, the leader has to pit earlier if you were in the lead like Trevor Yates is now for the restart and stayed in the lead. But there's still a lot of questions and a lot of strategy that can still be played with a short stint fuel run. So it's always an interesting fight to watch, and it's one that we're gonna see here again tonight. Now Yates in the restart zone. 71 takes us back to green. Lap 21 of 100, almost a quarter of a way through this race here now. And we've already seen 3 cautions for about 9 laps of pacing so far out of 21. Not too bad, of course. Most of the drivers probably expecting it to stay a little bit greener up until this point in time. I mean, we're already seeing 3 wide fights back here for about 10th place. So not really, the driver's not really being relentless, but they're also fighting hard early on for position.
Yeah, like still 3 wide back there, and they're holding their own. They're doing great so far. Even drivers, they don't like to see a lot of cautions, so hopefully they can settle in a little bit, get a little bit of patience. You see the top 3 starting to pull away. If they could just stay linked up, keep that 33 in the draft. Big bump there from the 33. If they could just keep them lined up, they could pull away from that pack that are all battling side by side back there.
Yeah, for sure. The 33, he's really been separating himself on these restarts. He's the past couple of restarts, he's passed at least 4 cars each time, going on the high side. And I don't know if you guys caught it, he made a really nice movie on the bottom behind the leader after getting in front of that. Looks like the 8 car. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Josh Ball, see how he finishes. Obviously, I don't have favorites, but I do enjoy his numbers, so he might be one that I'm looking forward to win.
Leave it to you to find a 33 in a league and root them all the way to a finish.
Hey man, we gotta live with it, man. We love the 33 car.
Now, Trevor Yates did restart right now. This last caution in the lead, he's still holding lead right now. Looking at the gains on the tower, there is 2 of the highest movers on net gain on the track right now within the top 5. That is the 71 of Trevor Yates, who is 24 positions up from where he started this race. And Stephen Alessi in 3rd, the number 8 car, who is 25 positions up from where he started. And it seems like Poston off the track. The fourth caution called this time.
Here later in the race, I was going to call that my pain of the week because I love me a box of nerds.
It is a pretty clean paint scheme. I will not lie to you.
Like it. Look better on a Ford, but it's all right.
Oh, there it is. Biased. Biased.
Gotta bring up Ford.
Now, it seems like Todd Poston was alone by himself at the time of the caution, which means this happened in front of him. I am reading Vicente Guerrero off track. So let's see if it's something to do with the 14 here. Oh, yeah, something to do with the 14 here, just in front.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I believe it started with a
tires off the ground.
15? I'm trying to figure out who it started with. As much technology as I have up here in the booth with me, the fact that I cannot cite a caution is incredible. Okay, so the 73 of Jeremy James seems to be the start of the caution. Hallelujah. Only a half a lap of pacing. So the 73 comes down, and that is about all she wrote. The 7 literally riding waves on top of vehicles. Not the 7 of Grayson Pate. That is someone who doesn't have a number matching what was registered for them. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for us.
Something tells me we'll be able to figure it out.
It's whoever's riding the Dente. In the black Intimidente. Banking involved in that.
You can see like you said, the 7 car getting lifted and riding on top of a couple different cars there. I was lucky enough to land back on all fours. Maybe be able to limp it back to the pits. Try to avoid that toe if you can. Oh, that's a cool camera angle. I love that.
Yeah, it looks like he tried to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I finally found it. That is the 77 of Kevin Leash.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks like he tried to save some fuel by riding on top of another car. That's one way to do it.
Hey, all's fair in love and war, right?
It's just them fast tracks, man. The super speedways. You'll hopefully keep your tires on the ground, but sometimes you might be on top of another car.
Well, I mean, they got to figure out how to make it interesting now for us. So I would call that a pretty interesting situation. And now 4th caution out of the night, which means we will be restarting just after the halfway point of stage 1. Now, Yates, of course, at the point in time of the caution, still your leader. It doesn't seem like that's going to be taken away from him anytime soon if the cautions keep rolling the way they're doing. He's only led 7 laps. Looking through your top 5, Stephen Alessi started in 28th. He is now in 2nd. Matthew Wilson is in 3rd. He started in 13th. Eric Rodeman is in 4th. He started in 15th. And Joshua Riddle in 5th, rounding out your top 5, started in 18th place. So a lot of moves right now. The top 3 have not pitted since lap 8.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like we have 2 or maybe 3 teammates there in the top 3 position. Maybe 4.
I can check for you right now on my cheat sheet.
You can get 2, 3, 4 teammates out front with you, and you can get your team to get on the bottom and just ride bumpers. No one make any moves. You can really pull away from a pack because I expect them to keep battling for 6th, 7th, 8th. Back to 10th, we've seen 3 wide. So if you can get you and your teammates linked up on the front row, you have a really good chance to stay out front and avoid all the unnecessary damage.
So 2 broke racing, controlling 4 out of the 5 top 5 cars. Trevor Yates in first, Alessi in second, Rodman in third, and Wilson in fourth, all on the same team. And this is kind of what we've been seeing from Candy Shack, too. Candy Shack has been slowly, by the end of the nights, all grouping up. We've seen Poston, Gibson, Holloway, and Hancock all finish around each other by the end of the nights. So a strong performance from teams near end of the race. This is kind of early on that we've seen almost, well, the entire team of 2 Broke Motorsports all stacked up in the top 5.
Well, and we're about to find out how their strategy works. So here we go, back to the restart zone, back to green flag racing.
Now the teammates are going to have to battle it out for the lead, or they're all going to get in single file and let each other tote it. If that was me, I would keep 1 car, 2 cars on the high side, 2 cars on the bottom side, and control the pace of the race. If you guys can stay 1, 2, 3, 4, even if you switch positions up a little bit, you are controlling the entirety of the race, as no one else is going to be able to get around you. We've seen the 3 wides go, we've seen that the 3 wide lines start on the high side all the way up to the wall, but no one has really went up there other than maybe 1 to 2 cars at a time, and they haven't made much advancements. Now we're looking at 2 Broke Motorsports doing that double line control, as Yates is on the bottom side, Rodman on the top side, and Rodman now getting the lead, but not diving down. So this seems to be their strategy right now.
And Tyler, I didn't even think about that, bud. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Well, it's something that you have to think about, not only when you're in the booth. Oh, there's another wreck.
Oh.
That is a 21 of Daniel Holloway, the man that's got a bounty on his head tonight. Holloway, Horst, Leash, and Hancock all involved in that wreck. But, like I was saying there, not only as a broadcaster but as a driver, you always have to think about the best strategies, not only for you but for your team. And at the end of the day, controlling the pace of racing is about the premier. It's the pinnacle of what you guys can do. I mean, we've seen it. The guys at 2 Broke have held both those lines. They avoided the wreck all being in the top 4. Oh, actually, no. One of them did go around up there.
You can see the debris fall onto the track after contact. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, the 8 of Alessi almost got spun. He broke loose Mercedes on the apron. That's insane.
What a save.
I need that in-car cam. I need the helmet cam. Because there's no way you come back from this. Throttle control to a max.
You can see him work that wheel. Definitely some front end damage. You can see his wheel cocked off to the side there. But one heck of a save. So far, definitely the save of the night. Unfortunate for one of our leaders that he's going to have to go down pit road, get some of that damage fixed. But great driving. And most importantly, with that save, didn't collect any more drivers, so no extra damage from that incident. Just a great piece of driving for the A car.
So now almost every car going to be in this time. A few going to choose to stay out. Now the question is, who is going to be beat out of pit road?
One of the cars staying out is the 45 of Mark Morton. I believe he's going to get his last lap back with this strategy and putting back on the lead lap. So, like we said earlier, after 2 or 3 cautions, it's tough to be in that lucky dog position. Sometimes you just got to put yourself in the right spot and take a swing or a leap of faith and stay out for one of these pit cycles and get that lap back. So kudos to Mark Morton on getting, I believe, his last lap back and should be back on the lead lap.
Yes, sir. It was very, very wild for him in that last wreck because he was in the back and he avoided very closely, but he avoided 2 cars spinning out. So I'm sure he's very happy to be able to get past him and get back on this lead lap.
A lot of fights here exiting pit lane. Pretty close exits here. Most of your top 10 practically fought for their positions out of pit road. Now, Josh Ball in the 33 is currently the leader. Coming back from caution this time. Of course.
Oh, we need some more. We need a 42 out here, man.
Now Morton waiting for the signal to go to the end of the line as he is in front of these drivers. Or will he be signaled around the pace car? Signaled around the pace car this time. Okay. So now he officially gets to join the end of the line as he is now back on lead lap. Gary Breland, the 23, I believe is already out for the night. And just look at this sky cam right now. All the drivers entering turn 1 and 2. This time by, I see a few drivers exiting pits, regaining at the back of the field, going around that back stretch. No other place you'd want to be than Daytona here on a Monday night.
Daytona night race has always held a special place for me. You know, when I was a kid, it was July 4th weekend with the family, watching fireworks. I remember being out on the lake when Junior won his first race at the Daytona night race. I remember that lake lighting up when we started hollering on the boat that he won. So I love Daytona night races. That's a beautiful shot of the Skycam.
Yeah, it really is. Daytona is such a gorgeous track. Not my favorite. My favorite's my hometown Talladega track, but Daytona is also very special one to watch, and you just always get a good showing regardless of what series is racing on it. And I'm just glad it's a super speedway, and I love it. I just can't wait to keep watching the rest of my days.
Now the 71 of Yates and the 33 of Ball going to be in line 1. Alan Hassan Gibson line 2. Tyler Hurt and Rodman in line 3. Grayson Payton Banky line 4. And Rainey and Tyler Green line 5 for your top 10. On the 5th restart here on the night. Green back out now. 33 in the lead on the top side, but it seems like that bottom line is going to be churning. Bad news for Cheryl in the booth with us, as now he's going to have to watch kind of what happened to him not too long ago. Stayed out on the strategy and then just slowly fell to the back of the pack. Will the same thing happen to the 33 here, as he's about midline now, going to the top side, but that's going to cost a lot of speed to him. Able to actually keep the lead, but there's a lot of wiggling going on within the top 3 of the 96 of Rodman.
Of course, blocking is perfectly legal, but it can be dangerous. A late block, and then everything kind of backs up, and then that's when you get the wiggle, 3rd, 4th, 5th back in line, and then that's when things kind of pile up and accidents happen. So if you're going to block, especially if you're going to be that lead car and you're going to go from top to bottom, bottom to top, you better be sure.
Yep. If you late block at the wrong time, it could be a early night for you.
Now, we are now in lap 33 out of 50. And let's do something we haven't done yet. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, turn your volumes to max. Because we're hitting wall cams, and it's time to crank it up.
Technology, gotta love it.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. Literally, if it is not one thing, it is a total another. We seem to be good now. Everything's still running, still working. Yes. Well, apologize about that,
Caution
folks.
out.
And another caution. Well, at least we didn't miss nothing. We didn't get kicked out of the sim this time, so that's the plus. We didn't miss the caution replay. We just had a little bit of a oopsie there, so this will be a two-parter now. We'll have the first hour and then the next hour, so that'll be split into two different segments on the replay.
Yeah, appreciate all our fans sticking it out with us. You know, sometimes technology is technology, so the fact we still have all our fans here, we appreciate you guys and your patience, and you know, stick around because this is definitely going to start heating up. We're getting close to the end of this stage. I definitely expect some big pushes, some 3 wides, maybe some 4 wides coming to the end of this stage.
So now looking at the point of caution here following Pickle Simmer. This happened not too far in front of him. He was involved in this. Thankfully, kept it clean, but definitely got a black flag for going through the grass. That is going to be an unsafe pit exit, most likely for him. I don't see a black, so he might have gotten away with it. Might have just been due to caution.
Is there a race control? I mean, if there is, they might have cleared him already. You know, shout out, some of these leagues have an extra race control, or some of these drivers race control as they go. So unfortunately, iRacing probably would give them a black flag there. My guess is it got cleared as it should. So good driving to keep it off that inside wall. I've met that inside wall before and it hurts.
An inside wall is a very treacherous part of the track.
It may or may not have put me out of the race 8 laps in at the beginning of our season.
You know, the good thing about Daytona, it doesn't have that pit lane wall. Because if that were the case, and he hit that on the wrong side of it, it still technically would have marked him as down pit road. So it really could have hurt him if this was, of course, an official session. Thank God it's not. So he was kind of able to squeak away there due to the fact of the caution. Really didn't have anywhere to go, so it is what it is sometimes. Of course, that's racing. You're going to have, you know, your situations. You're going to have some stuff that really doesn't work out in your favor, but Pickle Simmer seems to be able to continue the run here tonight. Now the question is, how much damage is he gonna have? Due to the simple fact that he has most likely already used that fast repair.
He's been involved in a couple of them already, so that kind of goes back to if you get out front and avoid the chaos, you severely increase your odds. And then like we're coming to this pit stop cycle here. You know, the top half of our race, of our group of racers, stayed out. The back half, mostly the ones involved in that wreck, went down in there. So you're starting to see a little bit strategy coming to the end of this stage here. So expect some, like I said, expect some big pushes. Hopefully we can stay clean, keep them bumpers lined up properly.
The number 17 actively messaging in chat while racing is insane.
Takes skill, because I can't do that.
And I quote, because I know this gets uploaded to YouTube, it's going to have to be a 2-part upload, but and I quote, Josh's butt looks weird. So what a thing to say there, Dalton. What a sentence.
Very talented. You know, I can barely keep it on the track with 2 hands on the wheel. You had a long one.
And then to be messaging at the same time is just incredible. So power to him. I couldn't do it. Of
I'm
course,
showing Pickle Simmer on track.
He is back out on track, so, and in front of leaders. So he doesn't get trapped in the back. Seems to be good from what I'm looking on the car, so not much damage for that time. Of course, it was just a little bit of contact, so we didn't expect too much damage. Probably a little bit of a bumper, a little bit of a buff out on that bumper, possibly a fender, and he should be good to go here for the rest of the race as long as his car is able to keep out of some of the chaos. Now, of course, a little bit of a, statement has already been made so far with the driver of Daniel Holloway running away with things here in American Stock Car Racing League. He's had 3 wins through 6 races, 2 in a row, and has a 70-point lead over the field. Of course, like we said the last few weeks, he is heavily looking to be the title favorite heading into the playoffs and is practically almost guaranteed to be the regular season champ, barring, of course, a total collapse. So as of right now, it is literally Holloway versus the clock on the rest of the season.
To have that kind of a league in a super speedway league, that's impressive for me. A lot of luck in these super speedway leagues. Now, don't get me wrong, it takes skill to put yourself in the right spot at the right time. So to have that kind of lead in this league is very impressive.
33 a ball takes us back to green flag. You know what, Cheryl? I'm going to start having you announce the 33 in green flag if he's still in the front. It's just right.
Yeah.
33 takes us back to green. And for those that missed it, we're going to show you the caution real quick as to what happened.
Going across that grass at 180 mile an hour is scary.
Yeah, and it's not flat.
Definitely white knuckle. What the landscape crew ain't happy though.
Hell no. Now, of course, with 10 more laps to go before that 50-lap stage break, Gibson and Ball are now going to be side by side for the lead. They are exchanging them a little bit here. Gibson trying to get that run on the bottom side. Would be the first we have seen in a long time that bottom line actually prevail. Top side is a little bit staggered there in the corners, so that bottom will be able to hold it a little bit longer Gibson really loose there. Almost got turned as well by the 24 Tyler Green, but both of them managed to recover. And guys, someone just outside of the top 5 right now who has had a win taken away that is in dire need of a victory lane run. There's the 35 of Matt Banky.
Yeah, I'd like to see Banky have a good race today. He's
There we go.
He's and there's another one. But he kind of had a rough start to the couple of seasons here at ARN broadcast. So I would love to see the 35 have a good one as he's just out in front of that wreck that brings up the caution.
Yeah, I agree, especially with that wind being taken away. That's going to leave a sour taste in your mouth, and it's going to make you want to try even harder to get back out there and get the next win. So I look forward to seeing him putting himself in some winning situations when it comes down to the end. And looks like his 33 car, he's looking good, though. His restarts are good. That high line's working for him. So right now, to me, he looks like the car to beat tonight.
And if that's the case, that is a $20 prize that I saw someone in chat say the broadcaster is paying. I am not paying that. That wasn't my rule. Holloway involved in that accident, and he seems like he has a lot of damage on that car.
Just a lot of traffic right there going across the start-finish line. Everyone's wiggling a little bit, and then just kind of dominoed from there.
Yeah,
Corey
tough break
Rainey.
for Holloway.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, tough break for Holloway as we just talked about him, just doing so well so far this season, and as Mickey pointed out before, it's a lot of it's about luck, and that's times like this is where the unluckiness comes in, and hopefully it's not going to be too much damage. It didn't look too bad, so hopefully he'll be able to get whatever it is patched up and start competing again.
Now looking at your race recap up to this point in time. Dalton Gibson now currently in the lead at lap 43 out of 100. Lap 50 will be the end of stint 1. This is the 7th caution for 18 laps of pacing. And we've actually only had 6 lead changes here at Daytona. That seems pretty light right now at the lap 40, 44 mark.
Going to be interesting. We're going to get going back with 4 to go. So hopefully we can get those 4 green flags and have a great finish at the end of at this halfway point.
And of course, drivers shouldn't take it too hard right now due to the simple fact that this isn't the end of the race. This is only stint 1. So you don't really have to drive too aggressive. Of course, you're still getting those stage points. But you don't need to run so aggressive as if this is the checkered flag. That can cost you a lot more than it could gain you. And that's something that, of course, these drivers know in the back of their mind, but if you haven't won a stage yet, you're going to want to try to win that stage. So you've got to wonder how difficult this restart will be for these drivers.
The 96 and the 33 of Ball were linked up on that last run. 96 gave him 33 a pretty good push, so I expect them to choose together and kind of get linked up again. Hopefully they can get that 33 back out front for Blake here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And back to those stage points, these points right here are very important in ways, just because look where Holloway is at. He's not in position for stage points, and he has such a big lead in the standings. So any type of point, especially for Binky, he's up there in points, and this will really help close the gap for these guys, especially since Holloway's not in there.
And I mean, Banky right now, he's in 6th. He didn't lose many positions. He's still on that redemption for what almost was. He started near the back. He finished 5th last week. and is now third in points, up 4 spots from last week. So, of course, trying to continuously increase the standing for him, and now tonight is a big opportunity for him to do it. Of course, after losing that win, he backed it up with another solid drive, but of course, it's pretty impressive to get a win taken away from you, come back the next week with what should have been a head hung down, and he has 100% proved that his speed is real, it is raw, and it is unmatched, because that penalty did not break him at all. It actually put a fire under him, which now has legitimately made him a possible playoff threat.
Definitely helps you get respect to the other drivers to be able to bounce back like that. I know he prides himself on being a clean racer and a good racer. So shout out to the 35. Go get one, kid.
Yeah, Becky kept his composure high, and he realized, that's just one race. There's a lot of racing to go, so there's no reason to, just put that in the path. Don't worry about it. Come out here and just do your best. Like I said before, there's a bunch of racing to go, and he's in a good position to compete for the top spot, especially when it comes to getting into playoffs. So looking forward to that run by Binky.
Now, of course, Gibson going to be your control car in the restart zone, anywhere in that blue restart zone marked on the track and or on the wall. Ball going to be in second, Green in third, with Eric Rodeman rounding out about fourth, with Benke in that top 5 spot now after the choose. So it is going to be a pretty hard fought battle here, as they are about to complete lap 44. This time past the line, going on to 45. With only a few laps left in the stage, who is going to come out on top in position number 1?
Yeah, that gives us 6 laps to run here. So come on, boys. Let's run them green. Let's make it interesting.
Now Gibson takes the green flag back, and Sherrow's picked to win it, fighting hard on the bottom side. Drivers aren't even caught up to him yet. Rodeman making his way up, but Gibson seems to be wanting to drop down at some point in time for that block. You saw him run that midline. They got to clean it up a little bit if they want that top side to keep running. It is running clean and green. There's already a big break within the top 6 drivers. At least a car and a half length between them. And they are all squarely in the front, trying to figure out position, trying to look around each other. And it is not working out too well for the 5th place sitter right now. Banky moves up to 4th place. The 33 is in 3rd. Now Tyler Green in 2nd, with Gibson in 1st. Gibson choosing to run that low side here as they take lap 47. Now crossing the line. Who is going to make that move at the end? You know it always comes in 3 and 4. They're going to stay single file for a while. You'll probably see the 24 green drop back just a little bit. And then boom, as soon as you hit that entrance to turn 3, you are up on the outside using that side drive to get around to pass the line, exiting turn 4 as your leader for stage 1.
You got teammates of Rodman and Yates in the 96, 71 sitting in 4th and 5th position. They move up to the top line there, try to get in front of Benke there. And 33 keeping an eye out on that top lane. Top lane starting to get organized. Starting to make a bit of a run here as 33 dives back down to the bottom.
You know, some of this bottom diving can negatively impact. These guys are all over the track here. Trying to clean it up is going to be the key, not only for the end of this stage, but for the remainder of the race. You've got to know what you can do in that car and what that car can do for you. Of course, O'Reilly cars, like we have stated multiple times, are unforgiving. They do not care how you feel. And there's going to be a wreck in the front. The 33 actually saved it, came back up, tapped Gibson. There's going to be a huge wreck at lap 48 with another caution out on the field.
Whoa. They were going to save it. 2 or 3 different door-to-door contacts there, just bouncing off each other, just wasn't quite able to keep it together. Fortunately, the 35 of Banky being involved in that one as well. Taking a couple of good licks, definitely some damage on the 35. Mark Morton also involved in that one, the 71 of Yates. So that's definitely going to shake things up coming into the stage finish.
Now let's look at Josh Ball here, as this is where it all started. Made first contact with Gibson. Broke to the inside. Went off the racing surface, and that's where he really should have finished off. He saved it, but the 17 came back down and kind of sealed the fate. You see the 35 behind him already breaking loose. 33 still holding it in there. If he just checked up, he probably could have saved himself and the 17. 96 also getting involved. Looking back at Matt Banky, just getting slammed by the 45, catching a little bit of air there. I mean, it was a mess all over the field here. Oh, 35 actually went airborne.
Unfortunately, with that happening on the front row, that basically puts the whole field at risk, and you've seen it there collect pretty much everybody in your top 10 to 15.
Well, if I would say the 35 almost had a Brianna Laurent moment. We might have to put an air mile tracker on the back because all four tires did get off the ground there. It was a pretty close call situation. He had got slammed from all angles, though, so he's going to have a lot of damage on the car. If not a fast repair going to be used, if not a few minutes of damage heavily accrued there. I mean, it's really unavoidable, especially when it happens in the middle of a corner on the top side of an embankment. If you wreck low, you're going to wash up high. That's going to block the entirety of the track, and then drivers don't know where they're going. Like the 7 right there on your screen, Grayson Pate, he had nowhere to go. Nose dove into another car in front of him, and you know, it's just a tough situation when you're involved in that wreck and you really don't have a means of a lane to try to get around. You got guys in front wrecking, you got guys coming from behind, so you're trying to lock up brakes while watching your mirror, and you know, it's a tough situation for these drivers to be in. So, you know, hats off to the ones that are able to avoid these wrecks at thousandths of a second calls, because it is not easy.
It happens so fast. You know, you seen during the replay there, the 4 of Corey Rainey check up, was in good position, but then everyone just kind of washed down the track, barely caught in, very little damage. But it's just one of those things, like, you start to wipe the sweat off your brow, like, woo, we made it, and next thing you know, you're spinning around. So sometimes even make the right moves. There's just not a whole lot you can do about it at these tracks.
And now at this point in time, they will be crossing the line for lap 50, which means we're going to be finishing the stage under caution. Tough break for those drivers. It's been a good one, but it has also been difficult up to this point in time.
And that puts 14 Guerrero, your pole car today, back up front to take the stage point through this time by, it sounds like. And the 45 of Mark Morton up there in third. So he's been battling hard today. Definitely had some contact. We've seen him use that fast repair earlier, and you know, got involved in that one there again. So shout out for the 45 to keep battling through all this adversity.
Of course, like we've been following all night so far, these drivers that are practically looking at either a playoff berth, a playoff run, or the end of the playoff run for them. Ethan Horse is still looking at the top of the mountain with some clouds still in the sky. He is currently second in points. He has not claimed a win yet, though. Of course, after race 6, he had another solid but not a dominant run. And of course, at this point, it's kind of a pattern. He is the best driver who isn't controlling races. And of course, if the playoffs did start today, he is a high seed. and will be a legit contender with his consistency. I mean, looking at Horst right now, he's not within the top 10, but he has had a good run tonight. Right now, sitting in 24th after that caution he was involved in, which kind of hurt his positioning a little bit, but of course, still managing or looking to bounce back. Lights on the truck are off. You know what that means. We're about to go back green here. Base truck makes a sharp left turn off the track. Vicente Guerrero, your original pole sitter of the night, back up in front, takes the green flag. The 17 of Dalton Gibson in second. Morton still in fourth. And now Robert McRae rounding out your top 5. And Vicente is really pulling away on that bottom side. But unfortunate for him, it's Daytona, so the car's already caught up to the rear of the ball.
Expect the 45 to kind of sit back behind him and just push him, find a groove. Now that we started the second stage, there's no need to push it this early in this stage. So hopefully the boys, it looks like they're kind of just going to ride their double file lines, log some green flag laps. Let's hope.
And yeah, kudos to Morton and that 45 for getting back up in the front of the pack. None of us will doubt his skill. He's one of the best over racers we've seen in leagues, and I'm honestly not surprised that he's put himself in this position to be back in the in the running for this race. And I'm looking forward to see how the strategy works out for him till the end.
Now, of course, we are at lap 53. At this point in time, we are going to go to our first commercial break of the day. Of course, if a caution happens under commercial, we will show it. For all of our premium subscribers on Twitch, you will get picture-in-picture. We will catch you in just a few minutes. Don't go nowhere.
Taste your banana pudding, you taste my banana pudding.
It's on. It's on.
I was going to say, will you marry me?
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
Consumer Cellular can help people save on their cell phone bills. That's why I cut my car in half. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
And we are back here for racing action. Kept it clean and green during our commercial break. Now at lap 60 out of 100. Drivers could have been about 80 by now with as many pace laps we've had. It has slowed down the pace a little bit here, but it has not been a bad race at all. Of course, it's Daytona. You're going to have those wrecks. Oh, Lord, commentator's curse. Ninth caution out now. I should have kept my mouth shut. I should have just kept it shut. Oh, one in the grass.
At least it was you this time and not me.
Well, yeah, that is truthful. A little bit of door banging there.
Yeah, it looks like the 96 went up on the 33, and yeah, then he spun around a little bit. It looked a little tough.
The 01 got sent high. Oh, look, Blake, it's your car.
Yeah.
The 01 came back up on the track and got sent into the air. Holy hell.
Fortunately, the 96 and the 1 teammates there in that incident making a lot of damage with each other.
$726 of Brandon Matthews has to be out after that wreck. There is no way. Hood popped up. I've never seen the hoods open here on these on the O'Reilly cars. Look at that, boys. Patience is a virtue. The number 45 of Mark Morton is now your leader under caution.
How about that?
Very nice. Especially after being 2 laps down, just through 6 laps at the beginning of the race. It's nice to see him get back up there and start competing.
And he leads the field down pit road here. Looks like everybody's going. See if he takes tires. There's fuel only. It looks like he might be repairing some damage.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too.
For those of y'all that have been hanging around with us with the encoder error we've been having here on Twitch, of course, I want to say thank you because it's kind of something I really can't control at this point in time. I truthfully have no idea as to what is happening. I've about troubleshot everything that I can do, and it's just in God's hands at this point for the remainder of the night. So if you've been hanging on to this point in time, listening to the voices and dealing with a little bit of the choppiness, thank you for sticking around here, because it is it's been pretty tough. It has been pretty tough.
Yeah, technology is technology. It just happens, man. It's I mean, we've seen, you know, Fox and other guys have issues too. So, but yeah, shout out our fans, especially those still hanging out with us. Those who show up week in, week out, man. This is awesome to see you guys in the chat each race, multiple times a week. So, you know, we got people gifting subs here lately. You know, shout out Bro Side and those guys. So awesome to have you all here, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Now, kind of looking back to a lot of the shakeups that we have seen. Of course, we've had some big names that have been struggling. Dalton Gibson is 22nd. Ronald Breland is in 20th. And Christian Rhodes in 18th. Of course, race 6 really flipped the who's hot conversation immediately. Of course, your top contenders have shown that they are vulnerable at any point in time for anything to accidentally happen that could negatively impact their races. Of course, we did have a surprise podium last week from Len McNess. He went from second. He's in second now, excuse me, from 31st. I mean, that was literally the biggest change of the race and practically had everybody questioning where the hell did he come from at the end of the night. Then, of course, we had Corey Rainey in third now. He went from outside contention into a big statement run. And that possibly is the jump that really started the rest of the season that he really needed. And he still has a lot of time left to make up for, some of the impact that he has negatively lost here over the last few weeks. Of course, into the cut line right now, just barely, is Jeremy James in 12th. Like we said, Hancock out, race winner earlier in the season. Picklesimmer out. He is an elite stage racer. And then Stevens, who went from 15th and down 6 after a big drop from missing last week's race. And Yates sitting at 16th place itself. Of course, it is a full-blown war now between those drivers. The fast drivers are out, and now the consistency drivers are in. And at this point in time, the wrong driver really could miss the playoffs.
Let's hope not. I wish everyone could make it because this is just too much fun. Super Speedway leagues, you don't see them very often. They're really cool to watch, and it keeps it interesting. So it would be cool just to see everyone make points, but that's just not how life works. So we'll see who can capitalize and who gets left out.
Of course, right now,
Good
green
restart.
flag. I was just about to say that too. Green flag back out for lap 64. And an insane restart from those guys. Pretty good pacing there. Dalton really has a run right now on that low side, but here comes that top side churning. Only 4 cars really stacked up right now. About a car and a half gap. Not too much. You had one pop up right there. I think that was Alan Hess. Now they're 3 wide back there for about 10th. Multiple rows of 3 wide, a little bit staggered, and now Tyler Hurt's actually going to be able to take the lead with Vicente Guerrero dropping down to second in front of Dalton Gibson.
We've seen a little bit of a green flag run a few minutes ago, so I expect another one like it. As I say, of course, there's contact on the track for 3rd place, but settling in. Got some time left here, boys. Just hold your spot. 33, making its way back up, trying to get back up in the top 5.
Yeah, it looks like that outside line, just after every restart, that top line just works every time. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to make another run on this back stretch and going into turn 3 and 4. But yeah, that top line's really been the money maker when it comes to restarts, and it'll probably be like that the rest of this race.
I mean, right now, a lot of the guys that have been kind of sitting in the rear of the field, now up in the front. The 84 of McNess is now in 3rd. So possibly going back-to-back weeks here, hunting a win now. Tyler Hurt is in 1st, and I don't really feel like we're going to see too much of a fight early on here. We still have a lot of pit cycles to go. Of course, hopefully under green, as we still haven't really seen that strategy run come out in under green flag condition. So still a lot to have to deal with in the car. What strategy do you run? What is your primary strategy? Of course, that will change if multiple cautions come out, because then you're going to have to go in for gas. If you see the rest of the other field go in, you might as well go in. I mean, even if you're not taking tires, a top off on fuel can really push you maybe an extra 3 to 4 laps compared to your competitors on the track. So a lot of strategy still needs to really be played out here going forward for the rest of this race. And the biggest question is, will we get that green flag pit cycle?
So far, so good.
Don't jinx it.
Try
look who's
not
leading
to.
that top row.
Yep. Who would have thunk it?
I don't even want to look, because it's like both of your guys' cars are out front. It's the nerd's car and what Cheryl wishes he could do.
Shots fired. Shots fired. No, this is awesome right now. 2x2 all the way through. One of the things I like about leagues like this and these type of tracks is you've seen the top 5, top 10, drivers change so much, and they can change so fast, whether it's getting left out to dry or a wreck or, taking a pit, and then next thing you know, they're up there, and then next thing you know, somebody else is up there. So everybody gets a little bit of time to shine in the top 10 at these tracks, and it's fun to see all the different names come and go.
And looking right now, it seems pretty comfortable in the front. Hurt having to block both sides a little bit there as that top side starting to get a run with Ball and Guerrero. But 33 of Ball kind of trying to figure out where he needs to go. He thought about dropping down there, kind of shaking up the teammates. Really couldn't do that. Thankfully for him, he stayed high, because now he's making that pass on the outside of the line, which is going to give him that lead. But of course, that bottom line we've seen have a lot of speed in the straights, not enough in the corners. So you've got to wonder how the blocking is really going to play out. If you move too late, you're going to stack up a line, you're going to cause a wreck. And if you move too slow, then you're going to lose your position and practically be 3 wide, just sitting in the middle, watching everybody zoom past you as you fall all the way to the back.
Name of the game. You said it right there. Stay out front, run both lines, safe blocks. As the top line gets a big run coming down the back strip or front strip.
I mean, I feel like we're getting to that point now. 30 laps left to go. Not much in the tank left for these drivers. And I mean, still a lot to have to manage here tonight between all of the situations we've had from race 6 going on to now. I mean, there's still so many notes from race 6. So I need to just start rattling a lot of the situation off just to keep you guys up to speed as to what is going on. It's pretty packed back and forth week by week. And I feel like it's only going to keep getting better over time as things keep going on here for ASCRL. But trying to get my actual note sheet back out here. From race 6. I mean, of course, we have went over a lot so far. Now, our stage racers versus finishers, which are now in a critical position. You have Pickle Simmer, who is fast but out. Stevens, who is fast but out. And Holloway does both. Of course, the guys who can't finish races are really, truthfully, about to run out of time. But, I mean, consistency right now for a lot of drivers, like we've been saying all night, all week, all season, has really been the winning war. Like looking at Banky over, since his penalty takeaway win, he has been steadily climbing consistently, and I really feel like that's the fire he needed. Like he said in his post-race interview, 4.5 seasons he has yet to touch victory lane. So now that he had that opportunity and it was pulled away, I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot more from him. Riddle is trying to stay alive and relevant in the talks of a playoff run at the same time. And I mean, Hurt is still in right now, but anything can change pretty fast here. I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers have a negative impact and kind of be thrown to the back of the pack pretty early on. So, You know, it's situations, very small situations from drivers just in front of you that can really kind of hurt your night or hurt your season. I mean, meanwhile, we have Breland, who has a bad race and completely drops out of, the playoff situation. Same with Gibson. Bad race, drop out. And at this point of the season, you really can't afford a bad race because it's going to just completely pull you out of any talks of a possible contention for a championship run.
It sure puts the pressure on you when you get down to this end and you're battling for that position. It makes you race harder and sometimes almost too hard where you make mistakes, but then also you have those other people that are racing for you that position as well, and they're going to race hard as well. So it's definitely not an ideal position, but to still have a shot to make the playoffs is a good opportunity. You just got to find a way to capitalize. Going back to 35 of Benke, in 4.5 years and have one taken away like that, you add that to the mix, that's huge. Big wreck.
Speaking of huge.
Oh.
Huge wreck.
That is going to hurt a lot of feelings. Grayson Pate, Jeremy James, and Len McNeese all involved in that wreck. Len immediately towing it to pits with a meatball flag. Same thing with Corey Rainey. He's been in pits with a meatball flag. And now, as well, is Robert McRae with a meatball. Looks like Grayson Pate could have started out this wreck here. So we're going to go and see exactly what happened with that 7 car.
Looks like a little chain reaction. Got a little slow, about 4 cars ahead, and they just kept hitting each other's bumpers, and it went all the way back to the 7 car.
It's that accordion stack-up effect we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yankee took a little bit of damage, but it looks like he got out pretty well compared to others. So
Big hit with 4 in the wall, and then we got another car taking lift off.
84 of
That
Len.
free gas mileage.
I mean, he's definitely a part of Artemis too after that situation. I mean, the first hit to the wall. I mean, the first hit to the wall is what did it. The fact that he's still breathing in the vehicle is absolutely insane. Because this right here is the wreck of the night. I mean, the raw damage, slammed right to the wall, hit off another driver, and I mean, just riding the 7s of Grayson Pate's windshield. I mean, between whiplash and takeoff, I don't know if we have to radio Houston or if we're radioing race control at this point in time.
Officially doing a 720, doing 2 full circles in that car. Oh, add another half there. I believe he just did one of the first 900s I've ever broadcasted.
yeah, this is one of those situations where you just thank God this is a simulator and not a real race.
I think that's worse than Ryan Priest's wreck, honestly.
Yeah, well, it was pretty close. Ryan Priest has had some rough luck at these restrictor plate races.
And what's cool is that if you're not fully familiar with these setups that some of these guys run, some of these wheels with their force feedback turned up, it feels real. So if you haven't ever had a chance to run a rig, there's spots and arcades and stuff that have them now, so check them out. So it feels so real for these guys in these steering wheels. So kudos, just like Blake said, thank God these are rigs and everyone's okay.
I'm probably going to get yelled at on Wednesday for saying this, but I truthfully I truthfully blame Brianna being in chat for that bad of a spin in the air. She's been good this entire season 2 for Right Time. I don't think she has went airborne once, because she was a repeat offender in season 1, but I think it's starting to rub off over here tonight. It's not a good situation. Of course, Vincente Guerrero is going to be your leader now. What were you trying to say, Mickey?
That was actually how I met Bree. Was she was in the air my first race with Right Time.
Yeah, she'll never live it down either. It gets talked about at least once every week or so by now.
And that's another cool thing about these leagues, right? So all these guys, they end up being friends and chats and stuff, and you know, they talk before races for strategy. They develop their teams, as you've seen on the track in all your leagues. So, you know, these guys are all become friends, and it's a lot of fun just to get with a great group of guys like Blake, you know, and have a guy like T-Bone broadcast. It makes it so much fun, you wouldn't believe it.
I agree. It's very fun, and always enjoy racing with the guys and having Tyler in the booth every week, and it's just a very enjoyable experience.
I mean, look at now. Pet caution. Oh, God.
Wow.
Yep. The bells are on. I'm getting yelled at in chat, guys. I'm getting yelled at.
Yeah. Coming to this restart, it looks like Guerrero and Ball, the pole sitter after qualifying and second place in the grid, they are both fighting for that lead spot right now going into this next green. Pretty cool to see them. The pole sitter in the second place after qualifying, you know, find their way back up at 1 and 2 with about 22 laps to go.
Now, not much time left, like he said. Hopefully no one else goes airborne for the rest of this race. As I was literally about to say as well, there is literally one more wild race that could either knock out a contender, lock in a surprise driver, and no pun intended after that situation, but completely flip the cut line as Guerrero takes the green flag now. 22 laps left to go. There is still a lot that can be changed or flipped around really at this point in time. Of course, like we've said multiple times, Stevens, Picklesimmer, and Hancock are really in trouble at this point in the season. Of course, we have to watch 10th through 16th every week because the cut line is and will consistently change up into that last race. And, I mean, at this point in time, we need to just start making a Holloway gap graphic because it's literally the fight for second place. I mean, no one else can really catch him at this point in time. The only thing that we can really start seeing is who is going to step up to the plate. Is it going to be Banky? Could it be Horst? Could we possibly see that Gibson rebound, you know, to try and challenge him for first place? I mean, these drivers all practically at this point in time racing for second place finish. I mean, it's well understood. He's been in a consistent finishing position. Right now, sitting in 15th with 21 laps to go. This could be the first race he finishes outside of the top 5.
That's unbelievable. Kudos to him to be consistent in a super speedway league. Again, that's impressive. Actually.
Very impressive. I mean, there's still a lot of racing to go. You know, 20 laps to go could feel like 100 if there's a bunch of cautions. So he's just sitting inside the top 15, and he's a really good driver, and I'm sure he'll, there's a will, there's a way. And he'll get his 7th top 10 finish in a row.
And you guys also have to deal with him on Wednesday, too, because Holloway is in the league now.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Of course,
Keep 'em on
not a super
Thursday, I'll be
speedway.
happy.
Not a full-time super speedway league, but you already know what competition you're coming up to when Daytona, Talladega, and probably Homestead rolls around. So be prepared. And I mean, you're getting good film in now, sitting in the booth, but still sitting on the track with a competitor like that is way different than what it is watching. Now, of course, Vicente Guerrero in the lead, holding it on strong. The top 6 drivers really wanting to stay single file right now. 19 laps left. It is going to be the run that really solidifies everybody's finishing positions right now. Of course, if a caution comes out, we're going to have to waste another 3 laps under pacing. That's going to cost a lot more time, a lot more jitters from these drivers, and a little bit more antsiness, which can cause back-to-back-to-back cautions at the late stages of the race. Normally, that is what happens. And then you'll start seeing a lot of drivers that shouldn't have been in that position under green flag conditions make their way up to that position, which can really solidify their playoff run. And, you know, this is something we've been talking about all night. It's really not the front half of the race that dictates and controls the winner. It is literally, I would say, maybe 50 to 30 laps left on the race. And, of course, those last few cautions scattered in that kind of show you your winner.
We say it a lot in these super speedway leagues. Just survive. Get to the second half of the race, and you just said it, partner. You can't finish the race if you can't at least get to the second half of the race. So, you know, get to that midpoint, start to make your moves, and then try to get your way to the front. Will get you.
33 now in second place. Josh Ball with Adam Kilday not too far behind in third. Riddle in fourth, and now Greer in fifth place. Vicente back in his dignified position, as this is where he has started the race. He has only led 18 laps on the night, though. Top 5 all wavering for the night. Josh Ball only leading 14, as pit cycles are slowly about to start happening. Riddle now in first place after Guerrero, Ball, Hilday, and James all come into pits.
This changes everything. It'll be fun to see these strategies. Everyone loves to see green flag stops. So hopefully everyone's got to make one that really shake things up.
Oh, yeah.
Your leader coming up, went into pit road, now he's back out. He's got some making up to do now.
Yeah, they both went in very quick, got just a little bit of fuel to help them finish these last 15 or so laps, depending on cautions, and they did a good job staying together. So now they can, catch back up and keep a good speed, so they don't get caught up too.
I was just about to say, too, all of our top 18 drivers last pitted at lap 76, so they will be coming in now. The biggest question is, what are our leaders going to do? Are they going to try to keep driving that tank out as much as possible, go in for maybe 3 seconds for a splash of gas, and possibly come back out and try to rejoin the track, catch up that speed, and get a few blocks into where they won't lose that lead position? Or will they be in this time by?
I love it. This is fun.
It's coming down to the wire now. All of these drivers within the top pack, all single file, all playing the draft game. Of course, the guy farthest in the back has the best odds due to the simple fact that he has nothing but aero in front of him. Front guy right now is going to be hurting the most, that being the 12 of Riddle, for the simple fact that he's got clean air and nobody to draft from.
Yeah, that's going to eat up his gas. And like you said, the guy in the back, he's going to have a little bit extra gas. And Pickle's running second right now. You know, you talked earlier about being in a tough position with points and stuff. This could be a huge finish for him if he can sustain this and save enough fuel behind that lead car.
Matt Riddle still holding the lead on strong. 13 laps left to go. They will be finishing 87 at this time, crossing the line. And now Pickle Simmer up in second. A man that has had wreck after wreck on a weekly basis and practically should have thrown the towel in by now, but he hasn't. Now finds himself sitting in second place.
Logging green flag. Most of this second stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your top 10 running single file here, just cruising, logging these laps, trying to catch these cars that are coming out of the pits or that have pitted, put them a lap down, and then if if a caution comes out, that really benefits all your lead lap cars. I'm not sure exactly where our pit cycle starts at, but if all these cars pit here, it's going to get real interesting. They're getting lap traffic in the way.
Yeah, it looks like 33 lost a couple positions. He was right behind Guerrero, but he lost that position until today, and now he's dropped back a little bit. But I'm sure he'll end up getting back in a good position to win when it comes down to it. It looks like someone hit the wall. It looks like they saved it though.
Kind of oblivious because I had my headset muted, folks, and I don't know how long that was muted for. So that's fun.
There's Tyler Hurts. Ooh, it looked like on the back stretch he went under there for the lot. It looks like he's back on the track and he's good to go. Just lost it for a minute.
The 12 of Riddle comfortably sitting in the lead. Pickle Simmer in second. And this is kind of what Pickle Simmer needs right now. He needs a good race that would really help him out. But at this point, I don't think his season can really make a comeback for this. Not only for the regular season championship, but for a comfortable playoff run. I mean, him and Horst have been having a lot of issues over the last few weeks, and whether it's just the car or just being in the wrong place, wrong time, both of those drivers have had difficulty. Pickle Simmer finding himself in second right now is a really good situation, but they say sometimes all good things have to come to an end. Hopefully not for the 88 tonight, as it would actually be nice to see him in victory lane for once. Now, of course, 9 laps to go. Not much time left in the race. Not much time left in the season for these drivers to really prove their worth. And as of right now, it seems like it's all going to go to Joshua Riddle in the lead, as he has been the dominant car out of this gap, out of this group right here.
Going back to the 88 at Pickle Simmer, just because you might not make the playoffs or win the championship, this is good momentum, good confidence builder for him. Finish the year strong, and then you can come into next year, brand new season. But prove that you belong out here, even though you've had a tough beginning. Prove that you belong out here. Get a little bit of respect, and just build on that confidence and build on that momentum.
Now 8 laps to go These drivers have still not yet pitted since lap 76 all the way back to Mark Morton. Still 76 laps was their last pit cycle. So you've got to wonder, are they going to be able to make it out here? Are they going to dive in with about 3 more laps to go? Or are they going to try to run this fuel strategy out? I mean, Riddle has been up in the front a predominant amount of time since the restart. And of course, if you're in the front, you're going to burn a lot more gas. He hasn't really tried to even lose that lead position for even 1 to 2 spots and try to, save his gas. Unless he is controlling the pace of the field up front, there's really not much he can do to solidify himself as a leader, even if they do go in pit lane, because of course we're still going to see that run in 3 and 4 where someone's going to try to make a pass.
And it's a win-win for the 8 and 12 right now, leading this pack. The 8, he don't want to go another lap down, so he wants to stay out in front of the 12. The 12 don't want to lead if he doesn't lead the pack, if he doesn't have to. So, saving maybe a little bit of fuel behind the 8. But like you said, it's getting real interesting with this fuel window.
Yeah, I agree. The 12's in a good spot right now. If they could stay green, I could see him trying to slingshot around that 8, which will leave a tough switch for the 88 because he'll have to go up high, depending on where Riddle goes. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to work out with a lap car leading this pack.
It can only go one of 2 ways. Either Riddle's going to be calm, comfortable, and happy that, he's saving some fuel, or it's going to come down to it where that 8 car of Alessi is in the way, and the 88 of Pickle Simmer is going to make that move. The 12's not going to know what to do. It's going to cause a caution at the last lap of the race. Hopefully not the situation, because I would be devastated if I was the 12 myself. Of course, doing something Blaney hasn't been able to do so far in the season, but then that's putting that car in victory lane.
Mm-hmm. That is a very good point about that last lap, because like you mentioned, if that 88 goes high and Riddle's too slow on it, he's going to be stuck. So looking forward to seeing how this last lap's going to go in a couple. So just hoping for a good finish and no cautions.
Yeah, I think he can't. I think, like you said, I don't think the 12 can make the first move. I think he can only try and go around the 8 if the 88 goes high and the 12's got to go with him. So I agree. I don't think the 12 can make the first move. So we'll see what the 88 does here coming down to the final laps.
He's just going to have to pay attention. When they cross that line and his spotter tells them 1 more to go, keep digging. When you enter 3 and 4, you got to drag your brakes while staying on your gas a little bit. You do not want any space between that car, because the space we're seeing on our screen right there, that's still enough for Pickle Simmer to slide up to the top side within reason and not hit that outside wall and initiate his side draft run, which will really boost him at least a side-by-side finish position, where we could see him get the win and kind of have an Atlanta photo finish. So there's very big possibilities right here, right now. If I was the 12, I would be dragging my brakes coming down to the last lap.
Well, here we go. Hitting with 3 to go. Couldn't make it to the end. The whole lead pack. Pickle Simmer, Riddle, Taylor, Morton, Steffens, Greer, Hess, Horse, all in pit road with 2 to go.
The fact that they did a 3 wide salute down pit road and no one wrecked was absolutely insane. Now they come out as the leaders still, but that other pack not too far back. Pickle Simmer actually now your leader with Taylor in second, Greer in third, Guerrero in fourth, but now the chain jump happens. Guerrero takes the lead with Kilday behind, Daniel Holloway in third, and Russ Hancock in fourth. Now, the biggest thing is Pickle Simmer's pack, yes, it has more cars. They're only 2.8 back from the leader now. But they are losing a lot of time. 3 seconds, 3.2 almost now. Seems to be a baseline at about 3-second differential. And I mean, they're in the right place. With the white flag out now, there are no more cautions. They are in the right place for an accident to happen within this front pack, for them to be able to take it for themselves. But it is really down and out now after Pickle Simmer thought it was going to be a good day in victory lane. I mean, of course, he possibly will still get that top 5 position. But right now, it seems like in his second race here tonight, Vicente Guerrero is going to try to push it to victory lane and claim his first win in 2 starts.
Here we go.
Here we go. You got 2 cars out front, 14 leading the 85 at Kill Day, coming off 4.
Too late of a run. The 14 of Vicente Guerrero going to take the first win in his appearance here, second appearance here for the American Stock Car Racing League.
Wow, what a finish! It's not like he didn't have to do much defense there. But wow, what a good finish. Kill Day, still top 2. I mean, you got to pat yourself on the back. It's a very tough race to finish. You know, you have 1 wreck and it's early night for you. You know, you got to head back to the pits. But he did a good job staying in it as well. So kudos to Kill Day for getting a top 2 finish.
Well, and then like you said, if there's a way, there's a how, and you find Holloway in the 21 car in 3rd place, sneaking his way into another top 3 for the season. The 33 a Ball squeezing in a top 4, and then Pickle Simmer, the 88, rounding out your top 5. I really got to think that lead pack was banking on another caution or 2, and they probably could have made it with especially 2 cautions, but 1 caution, they might have made it on fuel. Unfortunately for them, it went green, but fortunately for Guerrero, he's burning it down at the finish line.
Now, gentlemen, you got to remember as well that 14 just did broke an insane feat for himself there. Second start, claims the pole, drives it all the way to victory lane at the end of the race, and is now just claimed $20 for beating Daniel Holloway.
That makes it even better. Blow it up, kid. You earned it.
What a race that was. I'm glad it stayed green the last little bit, and it was really fun watching as they do little bumper cars and the victory lane.
And that's just camaraderie between the drivers in these leagues. You know, there's no hard feelings there from the 21 at all. I can promise you that. It's just the 21 congratulating the 14.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have to be teammates to get a congratulations. So shout out for the camaraderie between the guys in this league, and they're still having fun out here at the start finish line. That's awesome. Love to see it, man. They're just having fun.
It was a long, stressful race. You know, their hands are all sweaty and it's very, very tense for that 100 laps at Daytona. So they're just finally they're able to breathe now and kind of relax and unclench the muscles. So they're just having a good time now.
There now. Well, of course, we have just seen an insane feat within the second start. Vicente Guerrero has got the win. And unfortunately, this is where we're going to have to break off from our 3-man team. Of course, Mickey and Blake, it was amazing having you guys up here, and hopefully we can get more of you guys in the near future.
Man, it's always a blast. Appreciate you having me. Can't wait to do it again, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, same for me. It was very fun. Having some banter with you guys. Watching a fun race at Daytona, and I'm looking forward to more in the future. Thank you again, Tyler.
Thank you guys for joining me. Mickey, I'll see you Wednesday. And of course, Blake, I will see you in the skies.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, have a good
Good night,
one.
everybody.
Yep, good night.
Now, of course, down to business, where we actually have to do the top 3 interviews now. It sucks we couldn't have, the other 2 there to kind of pick their brains a little bit. But now we're going to have to go into it. Of course, we still have enough questions to ask the guys. That's not the problem here. Of course, top 3 are Vincent Guerrero, Adam Kilday, and Daniel Holloway. So we're going to start off with the 21 of Daniel Holloway first, as we always do, third to first. Daniel, you got a copy, boss?
Hello, Tyler.
So you're keeping the momentum. I've talked to you for 7 weeks, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change.
Well, it was close tonight. I mean, I had a fight for that third one, but I was just outnumbered by those 3 guys for teammates wise, and I had Russ, but ended up getting wrecked right here at the white flag. But the bounty's out, so I mean, it was all for one and none for me.
All for one and one for me.
None for me. All for one and none for me.
None for me. I mean, look, man. Something had to happen. It was only a matter of time before someone put a bag on the head.
It felt like a rough race tonight for me, but it ended up still not.
At one point in time, I think we had about 20-something laps left to go, but maybe about 15 laps to go. You were sitting in about 15th place, and I literally said, I was like, this might actually be his first finish outside of the top 5. And here we are in third. So that aged like unpasteurized milk.
Well, we needed that green flag pit stop, but my other teammates besides Russ nailed it. The other 2 slapped the wrist. One dropped out from packet loss. Tyler did. And then when Tyler got that and it hurt Todd, I'm not sure what happened. Next thing you know, he was 3 seconds from the pack, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then Dalton screwed up in the pits, so it was gonna be me, Dalton, and Russ versus those 3. But pit strategy worked great, and the only way I was gonna make the move was towards the end there with 2 to go, and since I was by myself, I could at least to try fight for a podium, and which I did, so it worked out good.
So now, of course, the first race in the O'Reilly's cars, it was actually pretty difficult to not say Xfinity tonight. But the first race here in the O'Reilly's cars, one more to go, and then we won't see them until the playoffs. With going into this race, we've been able to pick your brain almost every single week, so we've kind of known how you felt going in. Now that the race is over, did it kind of pan out the way you expected it to in the O'Reilly car?
The draft is a lot different than, of course, the Gym 4 and stuff. So side drafting was crucial. Very touchy as far as pushing somebody. I was kind of surprised a little bit because usually you can push some, but tonight it just feels very touchy to me. Easily to get a guy loose in the back end and stuff, but what can I say? Here I am in top 3, so another momentum going.
Now, of course, pretty early on, you really didn't start too far out. You started in 8th, made your way up all the way to 3rd to finish off comfortably. At any point in time, did you feel like you were kind of down and out. I mean, of course, the bounty made you have to drive harder, but did you feel like there was at some point in time you didn't feel like you were going to be in the top five?
Yeah, mid after stage and kind of mid pack where I had a feeling nobody was going to work with me. I know my teammates were, but we were kind of spread out. But I was being patient. That's the key word is patient, especially 100 laps, trying to keep the car clean. I know I was in 2 wrecks, spun twice, and barely got any damage on either one, so that was a big plus. I do want to say I did break the streak for leading a lap. I did not lead a lap tonight, so that broke the streak.
Well, I mean, still an insane season for you right now. I mean, I don't think number one anybody can top the output that you have had even next season. It's been immaculate. There's a 70-point lead between you and Horst. You have nothing to worry about. You could practically miss the rest of this season almost and still
Pretty
be
close
in right now. I mean, 37 stage points before adding the tally here tonight. I mean, 3 wins, 6 top fives. Well, now 7 top fives, 7 top tens with 7 starts. How are you feeling? I mean, knowing that you really kind of have this regular season championship wrapped up.
With 3 to go, anything can still happen. I mean, if I finish last one race and Ethan wins a race, and I mean that's 40 points to win it and stuff, so that's a good game there. I just got to keep being consistent and keep doing what I'm doing week in, week out, and just keep the car clean till the end.
Now, of course, a difficult race tonight, I would say, for most of you guys. Still a good race up here in the booth. So, of course, the cautions really didn't take away from the racing itself. But with as many cautions as we had, did you feel like that kind of altered not only your strategy, but a lot of others' strategies as well?
A little bit with the fuel mileage. We were playing the fuel game before the last caution to where we were getting ready to set up. Then caution came out, and then a lot of us needed about a gallon and a half. So that team, Vicente and them, they pretty much had the same idea what we were going to do. We were about ready to pit, but they pit first, and we went next lap, and it worked out pretty darn good. Not going to call out Dalton for pit mistakes there. No name, calling out. It could have been pretty good though, but it is what it is.
Now, of course, moving forward onto next week, now that you know how the competition in these cars is going to be, how are you feeling about Talladega?
Wider track, it feels like, even though Daytona and Talladega still feels like the same, but Talladega is a little bit wider for 3 wide. Track position is key with this car, and the momentum. So we just got to work on it and get our team together and push forward and go from there. And I got to bring out my backup card now. I don't know how that car's going to be because I decided to destroy this one because, I don't know, I felt like destroying something.
And of course, man, before we let you go with your top 3 finish, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, shout out to Vicente for getting the bounty in the win. Congrats on the win. Tyler, you up in the booth, and I think you had somebody with you tonight, so I'm not sure who it was, but you guys do a great job in the booth tonight. And American Stock Car Racing League, putting this league together and stuff. Dalton and Todd and all them, race control and stuff, but we're halfway there, 3 to go. Anything can happen. And like I said, playoffs is a whole new ballpark.
That was actually your competitors on Wednesday, Mickey Stewart and Blake Sherrill. So a little bit of little bit of a I guess you can call it a world break here. As all of my worlds are blending now, but it is what it is, and good job on all of them two for popping up here tonight and taking on something that they normally don't with a super speedway league. And of course, to you, congratulations on that top 3 finish, boosting yourself in the points as we expect on a weekly basis. Now
Yeah,
7
hopefully
top
keeps
10s,
going.
7 top 10s, 7 top 5s, the most consistent driver out of the bunch, as no one else has a perfect record at this point in time. You are the only one with a perfect record for top 5 and 10s.
So far, so good. So hopefully that keeps going, especially when the playoff starts hitting. That's where it really counts. So, and I'll maybe catch you every now and then on a Wednesday night league. So take care, Tyler, and you have a great night.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to talk to us, and we'll be talking to you again next week.
Ooh, putting that voodoo on now. Ooh.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Stop it. You have a good one, man.
Have a good night.
Of course, that was our third place finisher, the man that you all expect to hear on a weekly basis, the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Now looking over to our second place finisher, who is currently sitting, I believe, not too situated on points. He's currently in 37th on points. That is going to be Adam Kilday. Oh, Adam, you got a copy, man? It's Tyler in the booth.
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry to pull you out mid-conversation. That normally happens a lot.
Oh, you're good.
So now looking, you're of course 37th on points. Really no contention at this point in time for, a regular season run. Of course, still trying to do what you can to, at least put some points on and show what you can do for next season. 28th, 28 positions gained for you today as you started in 30th. You finished in second. What do you have to give, or shall I say, what can you thank for your second place finish? I mean, it was a tough fought battle between all of you guys on the track, between the three wide line racing, just a lot of the top line runs, the blocks on the bottom and top from the leaders. So what would you really say puts you in that second place finish?
I mean, I put myself in the hole in the beginning. I realized when I was taking the green flag in qualifying, it was a 2-lap qual. So I only ran the 1 lap, put that time up, and then towed and pressed ready to race. So it put me in 30th. Then with all the wrecks, I just kept getting caught up in all the wrecks. I would have 40 seconds of optional here, a minute here, and then God, it was getting junked. The car was getting junked all night for sure. But I think it wasn't until maybe with 30 or 40 laps to go after the one, maybe the eighth or ninth caution when we went green after that. We just all was trying to make a run up the middle, but it's really kind of tough to handle because you're getting like arrow moved around from the car below you, the same with the car above you, and then the cars up in the third lane try to really get down onto your corner panel to try to side draft you, and you're in the middle. But yeah, so we were getting bounced around all over. Luckily, we broke free of the side draft, and me and Ball were able to charge up the middle, make some track position to get up to Vicente. And yeah, once all three of us got linked up, we were just planning for what fuel strategy we wanted to do, and I guess the rest is history from there.
Now, of course, that was a big thing tonight. Expecting green flag runs. Of course, not something you really can expect at a restrictor plate track, but you guys did get them in the third stage. Did a lot of those cautions for you kind of affect that green flag run strategy where you had to kind of think on your toes with the team to kind of be able to prevail?
Probably on the last one, we were just trying to make a plan to see what would put us in the best position for one of us to come out with the win. But it was really when it was entering like a fuel save game with 23 to go or whatnot, when the second to last caution flew. It was pretty much a debate on whether we wanted to save a lap, see if we could squeeze it out to the end, or pit early and gamble. And we took the gambling method, and at the end of the day, I think it paid off for us. So we had all three of us on the same page. Unfortunately, Trom was getting caught up in more wrecks out in the back. We couldn't have him up there with us, but and then last week we also had Daniel Hoff with us, but he got caught up in other stuff tonight, so we couldn't have him. But no, it's really about having most of your teammates on the same page. What you all want to do, plan ahead of time, and try to stick with that plan and execute it. So I think that's what we did on the one pit stop, and it worked out for us at the end of the day.
Now, of course, sitting in 37th in points, like we said, not really contending for anything right now, but trying to get accustomed going forward, especially for next season. What is really your personal goal here? Not for only you, but for the team. Moving forward.
Probably just try to keep my nose clean, really help out anyone I can. I think maybe there might be a small window for maybe Vicente or Ball to squeeze their way in the playoffs, but you'd probably need a miracle for that to happen. But that's about it. And with iRacing, with the changes they made to all the cars, it's really about learning this side draft package that iRacing seems to be wanting to roll with lately. And we're really given no option but to race that package. So right now, I think the normal super speedway cars you have at the moment is the next gen and the legacy Gen 4, maybe the Gen 403. But other than that, you just get the new draft package with the Xfinity, and now the trucks have it. So it's a lot of team oriented. It's a more team oriented system that we have to rely on now with the new cards. But adapting to that with these races on how the schedule is too, where they go between a bunch of cars, is pretty good to experiment with, and changing it up a little bit as they do. So probably looking forward to the Gen 6s as well. Is when I joined iRacing in 2020, I want to say, they were just phasing out the Gen 6s. So I never had a chance to like mess with those when a bunch of leagues were running them for the Cup Series and all that. But I'm looking forward to that next week and see what we can do in those cards and see if we could come out with a win or something. But yeah, that should about do it.
And of course, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your night, any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody?
Yeah, shout out to everyone I ran with in Discord. It was Vince, Josh, and other Adam. Shout out to anyone in this league, admins, crew. It sounds like they tried to put a good lid on the toxicity around here, which really it doesn't seem like much, but it's more so like with the flaming over open radio comms, they keep that to a low, which is super cool to see in a league. Keeps everyone civilized and everyone at peace. So shout out to those guys. And shout out to you with the broadcast, Tyler Jones. So your time's greatly appreciated as well.
Well, of course, appreciate you joining us here on Mondays. Of course, getting a top two finish is a pretty good way to start your guys' season on your second race in here. Of course, team getting the win, so it's already looking pretty good for you guys right now, and bounty collected as well on Holloway. So I mean, it's moves in the right direction for you guys. So of course, congratulations on you for being the literal highest mover of the night. 28 positions. The second highest is 12th or 12. So congrats on that, man, and definitely looking forward to seeing not only what you but the team are going to be able to produce here for the rest of the season, including playoffs.
Yeah, see what happens. I don't never ran with Vince and Ball as a team in any other leagues we did in the past, but it's something new, different, racing with different people. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah.
Well, of course, thanks for joining us up here tonight, man. Hopefully we're talking to you more in the next upcoming weeks.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it.
You have a good one.
All right, you too.
And of course, that was our second place finisher, Adam Kilday, which means you only got one more person left on the night, and that would be the man that was able to take it all. Of course, second start gets the win. It's going to be the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. You got a copy, boss?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
So, how are you feeling? You were able to not only claim a bounty on the 21's head, it was your second start out and your first win. So, I mean, three big achievements here within not even 7 days of you being in here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, to be honest, without the teammates that I have. We're a good group of guys. We've been around racing with together quite a bit of time, probably a few years now. But man, it sure feels good coming in here and taking that bounty from and Daniel Holloway. So yeah, I mean, everybody should be happy for doing that for them. So
I mean, it kind of shows, the team has what it takes. You guys have been in really good starting positions last week as well. So, I mean, it's already showing that, you guys have really what it takes to kind of put Candy Shack on their toes a little bit here and, kind of consistently keep that pressure on. Of course, O'Reilly cars, this is the first time we have touched them here for American Stock Car, and some people have raced them or do race them consistently, others don't. Where do you fall in that category? Do you normally touch the O'Reilly cars, or are you more of a next gen guy?
Well, no, I mean, I race all the cars, but like it's been a while since I've touched this one. I mean, the update, so it has changed. I mean, I've noticed there is during practice there is an air bubble there, so I don't remember having an air bubble from the last update. Um, there, definitely your right rear, the side draft and is critical. But man, yeah, I mean, I it's a love hate with this car to me. I mean, it could be a little bit wishy-washy, like when you pushing somebody in front of you and you got somebody real tight, like the third car, and then it could go ping-ponging back and forth for a little bit, and then the pushes, they're a little bit better than what they were before, but definitely, it could send you, but you got to counter it.
Now you did get the pole as well. I almost forgot about that. So another thing to add to to an achievement, a long list of achievements here tonight. When you put that pole time down, did you feel like you had that pace to be able to get this win for yourself within the last few laps of the race if you were in position like you were?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you got good hands pushing behind you, and you got some teammates, behind you, committed to you. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the speed on the getting the poles, I think my first race here too, last week, was I took a pole position, didn't get quite the finish I wanted, but definitely, I mean, taking back-to-back poles, my first two races, it feels really good.
Now, of course, you could really put yourself in a playoff situation if you can keep your consistency with the win column. Not really many weeks left to do so. Do you feel like you're at a point in time where it's kind of down and out and we're just racing to get ready for season 2, or do you feel like you still have an honest fight here?
To be honest, I came in this league knowing that they're mid-season. The main thing that I wanted was not to cause problems with the league, with the drivers, like trying to be safe and not ruin somebody's season. Now, if it happens to fall in that spot where I'm able to get into that playoffs, then so be it. But to be honest, like I just want to race everybody clean and not have an issue with the other drivers.
Now, of course, we flip back and forth a lot here when it comes down to which car we're driving. We have the O'Reilly's car one more time for Talladega next week, and then we move to the Gen 6 cars. How are you feeling about not only your odds for the Talladega race for O'Reilly's, but your Gen 6 run as well at Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, we could keep doing what we're doing here the first couple races, and not have a mishap. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, with the team we have, so um, you know, as long as we could stay up front and stay connected together and not get separated, I think we have a solid chance to come up top.
And then kind of, looking at this race tonight, it was uh, pretty action packed, I would say. A lot of cautions, back to back at some points in times, and you guys kind of got a little bit of green flag run, and then a few more cautions came out. But the first at least like 60 laps weren't. Well, I would say the first like 40 laps weren't probably as green as you guys wanted it to be. Did that kind of affect your racing at all and make you kind of pull back a little bit and just let everybody else, get damage to their cars to for you to gain that positions?
Um, like the first part of that race, yeah, I just wanted to be up front because normally, you know, if there's going to be a caution or a wreck or something like that of that sort, it'll be towards the middle or towards the back of the field. So if you're closer to the front, it's nicer to be up front. But I got caught up in that one incident up front, and I do apologize to whoever I got into there. I forget who it was, but it sure seemed like it felt like he was coming down. So well, it might have been some net code, who knows? But anyways, at that point there, uh, my main mindset was to keep a clean car and stay out of trouble, and hopefully, flip the track position there, which I did. Towards that end of that stage there, I took the chance and just stayed out, flipped that track position, stayed up, knowing that there's quite a bit of cautions coming out. And, probably run like 8 laps or so, and then there was a caution. So I took that chance, and luckily it panned out that way. I mean, I got lucky and was able to pit. I lost a couple positions, but I still was managed to stay up front, and then got close to my teammates as well. So long as we could stay connected there at the end, that's what mattered. And that final pit stop, man, I mean, it was a little scary there.
Now, of course, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your night, are there any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody that could be watching, or any of your sponsors, or whatever it may be?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't told my folks that this league here, so I'm definitely gonna share the stream here with my folks so they could watch it back. I want to thank you for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch this back. Want to thank the league, American Stock Car Racing, for letting us join this deal, and all the the drivers here that's competing. Thank you for letting us race with you guys and giving us back there. Um, I also want to thank my wife for letting me put on the show. My folks out in Arizona. Can't forget my sponsor there on the car, Event Service and Repair, servicing ag equipment there in Central Valley in California. I also want to thank my teammates. Wouldn't have done it without them. Kilday, Schramm, and Ball.
Well, of course, man, you have been really the talk of the league right now. Came in first week, got the pole, fell a little bit short. Second week, come in, pole again. Great finish for you as you got the win 2 races in and took the bounty off of Holloway's head. So, I mean, right now there's a lot of momentum under you right now, and definitely feel like there's going to be more for you in store, of course. But of course, congratulations to your first victory here in the American Stock Car Racing League, and we definitely look forward to seeing, well, not only this season, but what next season is going to have in store for you.
Definitely. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you. And of course, that was your winner of the race, Vicente Guerrero. Now, looking back at our finish here, it was an insane race. See if we can throw the race recap up for you. 106 out of 100 laps in overtime. 10 cautions for 29 laps of pacing with 15 lead changes, which was kind of expected by the end of that race. I'm surprised it wasn't a higher total, though. Of course, Vicente takes the win. Adam Kilday, the teammate, finishes in second. Holloway in third, with Josh Ball in fourth and Pickle Simmer in fifth. Still a pretty good race, even with a majority of the cautions. It really didn't affect too much. A lot of drivers kind of caught up back to back in a lot of those wrecks, and it really didn't end too many people's nights until the bitter end. So, of course, a lot of drivers able to stay in for the entirety of the race until they couldn't anymore. As of next week, we are going to Talladega, as always, in the O'Reilly's cars, and then we are moving to the Gen 6, where it's going to be a little bit more difficult because those cars really can't take too much damage. So it might be down and outs early on for a lot of drivers. Of course, tonight has officially concluded live coverage of the race here for American Stock Car Racing League, and we would like to thank you on behalf of American Stock Car Racing League and ARN for watching, even with the earlier on technical difficulties we kind of faced here. And of course, give a shout out to Mickey Stewart and Blake Sharrow for jumping up in the booth and hanging out and just sharing insight from a driver's perspective. Definitely look forward to working with them again here, hopefully in the near future. But of course, as always, we're going to leave you with a white flag lap where we saw Vicente take the win. And of course, before we do that, make sure to check us out this Wednesday for the Right Time ARCA series, and Thursday for their Truck series, Friday for the Naris Truck Series and Saturday for the Gen 6 Cup cars. Hopefully we will see you on Wednesday. If we don't, we'll see you back here on Monday. Same time, same cars, but a different track. Here we go to the white flag, where Vincente reeled it in to really lock that win in.